Hello, welcome back. So, just a quick one. Yesterday, I can't remember what it was, but I said like someone was a faggot or something was a faggot, and I just wanted to clear the air with you guys. Apologize for saying that word because I know it's a bad word. I didn't mean it in that kind of sense of light. It's the wrong the wrong choice of word I should have used. I should have just said, "Oh, that's a prick. That's annoying." But unfortunately, the way kind of being in school has kind of adapted my mind to kind of associate that word with a different meaning, and I know it's wrong, and I'm just gonna now make a more conscious effort to stop using that word because I can see how it's offensive to others. And yeah,
Well done.
huh?
Thank you for your apology.
No worries. Let's get on. I've got a quote to start off with. Um, oh, I fucking lost it, ain't I?
Gotta go again. Do it at the right time. That's essentially what the quote means.
So it goes basically. It's from the Chilean monks, and they say
Wait. The what month?
the Chilean.
How's that spelled?
Shaolin.
Okay.
Chilean.
I thought you was reading something else wrong.
No. But basic.
I thought you was reading like Chilean.
I thought you was going to say
Like
like
from Chile.
Tibetan or something. Like, I'm not that dumb. Oh, well,
Oh
debatable.
well, with the Basha. Go and read your John Barnes quote.
So it starts off, it is better to move away than grab. It is better to grab than hit. It is better to hit than hurt. It is better to hurt than kill. And it is better to kill than be killed. And essentially what that means is take every drastic measure to not incapacitate the opponent, or if someone's starting a fight with you on the street, don't go out all guns blazing, like just defend and dissolve the conflict. And it's just basically saying like take every step you can to not either be killed or get hurt or kill them and hurt them. And it's just basically saying remembering that will help your brain just notice things differently, and also it's just like save lives, Let's not be pricks. We've only got one life. Life means nothing. We all came from the Big Bang.
Go on. Go talk about science. You know you want to.
What?
Where do we all come from? Go on.
Where do we go? Where do we come from? Kanaju. I've been there a long time ago. No.
I remember, like, for my year 6 leavers play, we had to dance to Cotton Eye Joe.
That is a bit weird, ain't it?
Oh, mate, I fucking slapped. I was sick at the dance. I was at the front line. I was one of the best.
That is not an achievement.
I can't remember the dance now. But it was weird because in primary school, I was like one of them kids that was like, if you touch me, I'll just punch you in the face.
Really?
Yeah, I was a cunt. Like, primary school me was a bitch. I was just a naughty kid, tantrums all the time, just punch anyone who... Like, once the year sixes took our ball, I was like, fuck that, I'm getting our ball back. Went on their foot position, stole their ball. I was in like year 4 at this time. Ran away the whole way around the playground. I had the whole of year 6 chasing me. They called me up against the wall, and like the hardest kid, he came up to me, like, give our ball back. I just kicked him.
That's the thing. It's just...
But like, because he was friends with my sister, he was like, he's basically like, I'll allow it.
Yeah, it's not because you kicked me and now I'm really in pain.
Oh no, mate, I was what, like 8? I don't know how old you're in year 4. I'm not gonna hurt a 10-year-old, am I?
Yeah. It's hard with kids because they basically are animals. I mean, even as humans, we're still animals. As adults, we're still animals, but we can kind of get this deep thought process where we can bring a bit more peace and positivity to the world.
Oh, you would have hoped.
It's annoying because, as we said like numerous of times, about 98% of the world are massive pricks.
It's because it's just every man for himself, realistically.
See, I agree in taking care of yourself, right? But not in like a selfish way. I'm like, you've got to feed yourself every day. You got to make sure that you're healthy every day. But also, like, take care of the people around you. And literally, like, don't be nice to just be like, oh, I'm nice. Like, just be nice to be out the kindness of your heart, knowing that you've helped someone today. And, like, when I do stuff like that, it really helps get me through.
But the situation we're in right now as a world, you can tell that every man for himself.
Yeah.
Because no one gives a shit about anyone else.
It depressed me a little bit.
Oh, man, I'm just not surprised at all. I'm just not surprised one bit. Oh, something we should talk about that we said about last night. 8 o'clock last night, yesterday, everyone in a lot of people in the UK went outside and started clapping for the
Oh,
NHS.
mate, it was emotional, man.
That was a nice little moment.
Because when I told
For
you
the
about it,
UK.
like, we was both, like, rinsing it, like, oh, no one's going to do that. Like, how is it going to
Yeah, I was
help?
like, it's Facebook group.
But
Like, no
then,
one's gonna
like, I
do
was in the
that.
garden, and it just happened. Like, I got, like, a body chill, man. Like, I was like,
Yeah,
Jesus, this
yeah.
is so emotional. Like, go on us. We
I,
can
I
do
saw
this.
I, s- I saw a video from outside the hospital, and fucking people were beeping their car horns, clapping outside the hospital, like fireworks being let off.
Like, as a country, like, yeah, you can say what we want, but we can stick together when we're needed.
I just hope this whole thing it makes the government realise that the NHS needs more money,
Yeah.
and the people who work there need to be paid more.
Because, like, honestly, without this, the NHS is probably going to go in, like, 6 to 7 years. Like, I think we kind of, like, this is a blessing in disguise again because it makes us realise how good our NHS system is. And it's
But it's
the only
even
country in the
like
world that
big.
has an NHS that has ran for so long and runs so well, even with the shit funding.
It's like even big old Bojo. The slogan is "Be safe, save the NHS." Whatever, I can't remember it, but he's saying save the NHS, and he was one of the people that voted against pay rises for NHS stuff.
But now it's an eye opener because, all people realise that money don't mean shit. Like, that's
Oh, so
coming.
fucking I've only seen little bits about this, but from the gist of what I got is Donald Trump basically said like 1 to 2% of the US is going to die, but that's okay because it doesn't fuck up our economy.
That's bad, isn't it?
Or like help the economy if people die because of that. Fucking, I don't know, they have private healthcare, don't
Yeah.
they? Private healthcare is so fucked up.
Mate.
Like, as a concept, it's so fucked up. I don't see how, like, the US, who's pretty much the leader of Western civilization,
Well, they
have
think they
private
are.
healthcare. They pretty much are.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
No one else has more of an influence over the Western world, than the US.
True.
Like, the biggest the film industry is the US. Music industry, the biggest part is in the US. Yeah, we have UK films and music here, but it's no way the size of that.
Especially on
and
a
like, all
global
the other
scale.
countries in Europe have
Yeah.
it. Yeah, 100%. And it's like, if you're poor and you get ill, you're going to get rinsed of all your money and probably die anyway because you can't afford to live after that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like people like who have kids and then are in debt. Like, do you know how hard raising a kid is anyway?
Yeah.
Like, that's meant to be like
It's
a
like,
blissful
it's like 30
time.
grand just to have a kid.
Mate, it's like 300
It's
quid
like-
just to
it's like
call
5
like an
grand.
ambulance or something like that.
It's like $3 grand to get an ambulance ride.
Just get an Uber.
People have. That's the thing. People have started getting Ubers.
It's bad though, man. Like, because you want to save your people. Like, and say if I
No,
was
the thing is, America's a business.
100%.
It's run like a business. They have the big successful businessman leading it right now because that's all they are. They're a business.
Yeah.
Like fucking big pharma, like the pharmaceutical companies, like they just rinse people full of drugs. Like insulin that treats diabetes is fucking bare expensive.
And that's for like
people
a
are dying of
condition that some
diabetes,
people are
which is
born
something
with.
that's highly. The thing is, diabetes is something that you can't cure it, but you can treat it, and you can live a long life with diabetes. But people in America are dying of diabetes because they can't afford to eat insulin.
That's mad.
How fucked up is that?
My granddad lived to 80,
America,
like, 4 with diabetes.
Greatest country in the world. Yeah, greatest country in the world. Freedom, all that.
My
shit.
arse.
You're not free if you fucking die of something that's treatable because you can't afford to pay for it.
Yeah. And it's also, like, a key factor is, like, say if I was president, prime minister, or leader of a nation, your number one priority is to make sure all your people are happy and living good lives. That should be it. Like, obviously, then you focus about the economy and stuff like that.
Not necessarily.
No, you
because
should.
The economy is probably not. Yeah, but the economy is probably the most important part of countries.
Not really. It's not important in people's lives. If people ain't got
It
happy
is.
or good
No, it
lives,
is, though.
there's
Yeah.
no economy there.
Yeah, but if you don't have an economy, your country's fucked.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. From a government and a parliamentary standpoint, you should want a good economy. But the number one priority that should trump all of that is your people are happy and safe. And, like, you can give them the best life from being in charge. Like, look when we had Gordon Brown in. Like, everyone just says how they were great days of life. Because everyone had money. Like, we weren't given handouts, but everyone had money to comfortably live. Like, some weeks, like, we can't even afford to get the electric to, like, next day, or we can't even afford to get a good shopping in. Do you know what I mean? Because the cards we've been dealt are hard, and we're trying to change them, but unfortunately, people do get stuck in the system.
The thing is, yeah, there's certain people that are in the system and get benefits where they don't deserve to get
Yeah.
benefits, and it pisses me off because my mum's disabled. She can't really work, right? And she gets shit benefits because my dad works and he makes an alright amount of money. Like, we're not rich or anything, but like, he makes an alright, like, we can live.
Yeah, but even
But
then, you're
and
a
because of
family of
that,
like four in one household that probably need two decent incomes, stuff like that.
well, no, right. To be honest, now with me and my sister, we're old enough to own our own money, earn our own
Oh yeah,
money.
obviously.
But when we was growing up, so this is the thing. When we was growing up, and my mum stopped being able to work, and my dad was working somewhere else where he wasn't getting as good money. My mum was getting barely any benefits. My dad was paying for the whole family pretty much. But then there's people who fucking have a kid and all of a sudden they're entitled to a fucking 3-bedroom house and fucking $1,000 a month on benefits. I don't think it's right. I think if you have a kid and you can't afford it, that's your fucking fault. You shouldn't get free fucking money for it.
No, I definitely think there
But
should be
like,
help, but not a handout.
I think they should give them help to find a job. They should help them find childcare and to get them on their feet on their own and be self-sufficient. You shouldn't have a kid then rely on the government to pay for that because it's your fault you have a kid. You don't need to have a kid. If you can't afford to have a kid or you're not in the right position to have a kid, don't have a fucking kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, also, it pisses me off. There's people who claim to be disabled and they're not, but they know how to fucking manipulate the tests and to show that they're disabled. Like, because my mum's done it, the fucking thing you get sent is it's like a questionnaire that you have to fill out. And you could just fucking lie. Then you turn up to your interview in crutches or whatever, and you're fucking classed as disabled. You just limp over there, say, oh, my joints are hurting, whatever. I've got arthritis. Then you get fucking off work. And then, like, you see them down the shops and they're just walking. Like, my mum's had friends who claim to need crutches and that, and when we go to the house, they're fine, they're playing with their kids, whatever. But like when they go out, they just bang on a crutch, so in case anyone sees them. And I think that's fucking
Oh
wrong.
yeah, it is.
And it's unfair on people that actually need it and are not getting it. And it's just pissed off that the culture of Britain, especially where we live, especially our area like South London, everyone if they can get benefits, they'd rather get benefits and work on their own. Then they bang out a couple kids and then they're fucking set for life because the government's like, oh well, they got kids, we have to help them out. But if you're not helping them out, you're turning them into dickheads because they're making a fool of the government because they're just you're giving them free money for them to just have fucking kids and they can't actually they don't know how to live on their own. And I think that's more important than just giving them financial security. It should be helping them get jobs to support themselves. And if they're not willing to do that, then I think you should just cut their fucking benefits, take their kids away.
No, you can't take people's kids away.
Yeah, you can. Fuck them. You can't afford to have kids and don't have your fucking kids. It pisses me off.
Someone's a bit heated.
No, it just pisses me off. Like, everyone thinks kids are so important, but they're not. People will have kids because they want kids, but they're not ready for kids. Look how many young mums there are in this country. They're fucking 18 years old, still live at home, are having a kid when you obviously can't have a kid. There's barely enough room for you and your kids at home, and you just bang out another kid. Then you fucking sponge off the government. Get a fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, just before people, this is the thing, people do it. I'm not saying there's a certain way to live your life, but there's an order you should do things. You should be financially stable, then have kids, not have kids, then let the government provide you with money.
Yeah, and I think too much of the problem, as you said, is like kids having kids and not realizing, like, one, how hard it is to actually raise a kid. It's not like, oh, I'll just go and do some drawing. No, kids are hard, demanding work. It's also two, I agree with you on the fact that people shouldn't just rely on the government to bail them out, because I think that actually, in some way, encourages people to just have kids and not do anything else, because it's like, well, if I have another kid, I'm in a 1-bedroom council flat with my kid that I have already. If I have another one, I get a 2-bedroom house. So it's having kids for a wrong reason. I do disagree with what you said that kids aren't important. I think kids are important, They're the one
Why are kids important?
because they keep the human race going. You know,
But we don't need kids at the moment. The world's
yeah,
overpopulated. There's fucking 8 billion people on the
but you
world.
can't control people's lives. People, if they want to have
But
17
it should
kids, they can.
not
Nah.
if they can afford it.
Yeah, if they can afford it, and if they can deal with it.
Which is, I'm talking about the people who can't afford it and they're having kids and they're the problem.
Okay. All right. So, all right, I see what you're saying. Because I thought you meant
Yeah,
like
like
generally we should
if
all just stop having kids.
no, like think about it. If the people who can't afford to have kids stopped having kids, the population would go down, wouldn't be growing as fast as it is.
Yeah.
If you just let the people have kids who can have kids, are in the right stage of life to have kids, then the population would grow much slower at like a normal rate. But everyone's popping out kids because they just think they have to because they're fucking stupid. It's what we was talking about before. Like people just aren't. They just don't see the rest of the world. They're so confined to their own life that they think they have no impact on the rest of the world because outside of their life, they think the world just works automatically. They don't see the impact they're having because they just see there's no like their mind's not open to anything except their own
Yeah, I
life.
agree with that.
Like they're oh well, I'm 20 now. I'm just gonna have a kid because I think babies are
And
cute.
it's
I could raise a kid. My mum did it. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all young parents are wrong for having a kid. Like some people are young, they have a kid and they fucking smash it. They get a job, or like they're with someone and they get a job and they financially support while they're maybe being a mum at home or a dad at home. That's fine. But it's these people who have a kid and they're fucked because they didn't think about the consequences of having a kid.
yeah, it's a big part of it as well. Is like I think there should be a system in place there where we actually help a lot of people out more with like mental health and mental like issues because a lot of people will live their life with some stuff going on in their head because of their past and they never really explore it and they never really know why they feel a certain way and then they're empty inside so they can fill it with a child and then they after like a few months they realize well I can't handle this child, I'm not ready, I'm 19, I'm something like that, and now I've got a kid. Now it's like that endless cycle, isn't it, of raising someone too young, abusing them, raising someone too young, and abusing them. And it's just it's
Yeah.
horrible. It's horrible to see. And like I want kids one day, but I want kids because I know it's the greatest fulfillment you'll ever get in life. And I want kids so I can teach them. Hey, like I want to teach them about life. And then if I have two kids and teach them all I know, that's two more kids that won't fall into that like system, into that being another cog in the wheel. And then if they have two kids each, that's four more people in the world. Do you know what I mean? So we're that's what we should be doing, constantly improving humanity. We're not perfect now. We won't ever be perfect. Perfection is
Never
flawed.
be perfect.
But what we can do is give everyone in the world the best life they can, because at the end of the day, for all we know, we only have one chance at this. Do you know what I mean?
But this is the thing. Like these people, you're saying what you're saying, and that's good. Like you'll be a parent that teaches your kids these things. But there's still too many people who are having kids, realize they don't want kids, and just be like, oh well, fuck these kids. I'll just send them to school and they learn about it there. I don't give a
That's
fuck
like
what
I
they
feel
do.
so sorry for all the kids now that have to stay with their abusive parents or have to stay in a household where it's such high animosity, really high tension, and like bringing kids up like or even just like shouting at high pitched volumes constantly negatively affects their mind and how their brain works forever because their anxiety levels are one through the roof too high, and two, they're always on edge, so they'll never be relaxed enough. And basically, to open your mind, you need to have a certain form of relaxation. And I don't mean just sitting there and meditate. Like you need to be certainly relaxed with yourself, relaxed with the fact that we're all dying, and relaxed with the
Okay,
world around us.
then I'll put the question to you: how would you discipline your kids?
Okay, so you know, first free time, say my kid keeps on chucking like a ball out the window, and I'm like, hey, look, can you stop chucking that? Hey, like I've told you once now, stop throwing that. Hey, look, I've told you twice, one more time, and you're going to be in trouble. I'll either confiscate something from you, or you won't have a treat at the end of the week. I don't believe in hitting your kids. I believe in a light smack. Don't get me wrong, because that does send brain impulses, and it's like the pain is connected through negativity, and then that builds up of like, oh, I shouldn't do this. But I don't believe in like giving them a whack. I mean, like getting their hand on the wrist, like, hey, stop doing that. I've told you
Well,
now.
the way I see it, you know, I like dogs more than I like kids, and I see you can just discipline them in the same way.
Yeah, it's
Like if your dog's doing something wrong, give it a little slap on the bum, nothing too vicious, and it will get the message
that's what I
across.
mean. Like,
Same with a
it's
kid,
just,
just slap it, but like don't like vicious. Like you see some people that like punch their dogs and kick them, and like that's fucking
yeah, but
horrible.
then
And
that's the
people
thing I
probably
was
do the
saying
same
about
to
earlier
kids.
because their life so far is that's all they've known. So then they pass it on, and it's like it's like the Olympic torch, but you're just passing on pain and anxiety and shit like that, and everyone does it through generation after generation. Oh,
But okay, going back to what you said about if you shouldn't shout at your kids because it will raise their anxiety level. Say
oh no, no,
they go
I
to
don't
school
mean
and
shout. You can shout at your kids, but not in a high pitched hysterical tone. Like, oh my god, what the fuck you doing? What are you doing? No, like, hey, what are you doing? Come on, stop doing that. Boom. You know what I mean?
okay, then say your kid does something horrible when you're not around. Like say they was at school and they just beat some kid up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
What would you do then?
I don't know because I'm not
You'd
in
have to
that
shout at them.
situation. You would
You'd
shout
have
at
to
the
shout at
kid,
them.
yeah, but it'd be like a stern, strict voice. It wouldn't be like a deep, "What the fuck are you doing?" It'd be like, and it would also, I want to know why. Like, where did that anger come from? What's wrong? Like, what did that kid one do to you to get you in this position? And two, like, why do you think that hitting people like that is acceptable? I haven't raised you like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you with that aspect. I think you should try to understand what happened, but like that's not really discipline. And I do think discipline's important. Like I
Oh
think
yeah,
my
obviously I would
parents
like
growing up,
bar their Xbox or I don't know, like, you know what I mean. I would do something to make them know, like, look, this is not wrong, and because you've done this, your actions have consequences, so you won't have A, B, and C for a week. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And but at the end of the day, it's all like situations that we haven't come across yet. So, and
yeah,
who knows, like, if I'm not saying I'm going to be a perfect parent, I don't think anyone is, but I'm going to try my fucking best to be because I've grown up with two pretty much terrible parents.
yeah.
And luckily, I've had the thought to kind of.
Carry on.
No, I can't remember where I was at. You need to put a sign up on your
Oh, that's
door.
annoying. No, he's just bored, and he? When something happens, he's got to tell
Yeah.
someone. Mum's too dumb to understand anything.
But I'll try and start off from where I was, so then you can clip it perfectly.
You were saying about having terrible
All right.
parents.
So yeah, I'm trying to get out the cycle of being another cog in the wheel, and obviously, you know, I feel pretty blessed that I've come to this conclusion. But at the end of the day, it's terrible because there are people out there that, you know, don't deserve to be parents, that shouldn't be parents. But unfortunately, that is about
Yeah.
98% of the world. Because unfortunately, as
Yeah.
a society, we're not, one, open-minded enough to all kind of see the bigger picture, and two, we're still quite animalistic in the sense of just, you know, fight for the next day kind of thing, and we'll fight for us, and, oh, why should we deal with global warming? We'll be long dead before then. No, why are you thinking like that?
Oh, I hate that attitude. I
Yeah,
hate that
it's
attitude.
so
And that's why
stupid.
the world's in the state it is.
100%. That's
the
why
world is
people are
the state it
like
is
how
now.
we are, because we've had. It's not our problem. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I think I've told you this before, but my mum once said to me something that was the stupidest thing she's ever
Was.
said. She was like, I was saying about like global warming, and she was like, "Oh, it's your generation's fault." I was like, "How is it our fault?" She's like, "Oh, well, none of this was about when I was younger."
But it just was so.
And I was like, "Yeah, because it's been built up over the last 40 years because of your generation."
How is it awful? We're barely.
yeah,
We haven't even
exactly.
hit
And it's
mid
just
20s yet. We're very early 20s.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's going back to what I said earlier. It's just living in a closed world where you're just not aware of what's going
Mm.
on in the wider world. Just your closed little community.
Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to open everyone's mind, you can't change people.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about kids?
We, they fucking
I
suck.
wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the audience.
Yeah, that's me and you. In a few days' time.
No, later tonight. We got a good upload schedule now.
Yeah.
If you'd like to follow us on...
Share with your friends if you like it. Share with your friends if you like it. Follow us on Twitter, full circle pod
Wait, can
_
I do it the correct way, please?
Well, you moaned at me last time, so I'm just trying to get out of the way before you harmonica me.
If you would like to follow us on Twitter and share our stuff, we'd be really appreciative of that, and we'll leave all that information in the back in the description.
You smashed that out of the park, mate. Well done.
Shut up.
Definitely didn't trip over any of your words.
It's alright, we're not doing a podcast or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you got any thoughts about what we spoke about, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. We'll reply and we'll have a grown-up adult conversation. I've also got something that I do want to share. It's in my notes. Which note is it?
Alright, that's the end. That's the end.